Hello everyone, this is Sarah Gagnon. I'm here to talk to you about creativity and the joy of play and an invitation to see things in a new way. So I want to start off with saying that everyone is creative. It's not just like something that some people are born with and some people aren't. You look at any kid, when they hear music, they start to move. And when they have a pencil, they just start to draw. And they'll pick up something and they'll make noises. Like they're just naturally creative and they're actually curious and actually like, oh. And curiosity is something, or creativity and curiosity are something that I find the older we get, the less easy it becomes. And there's a lot of things that conform us with society and a lot of expectations, and it kind of just bogs us down and we lose that. But here's the good news. It can be relearned. Yes, it can. Creativity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the better it gets. And creativity can't be pushed and it can't be, forced. It can only blossom, and it blossoms in play. And kind of like learning anything new, creativity is one of those things that you can develop and you can grow and you can build. And I want to do an analogy. When you are learning something new, your brain creates neural pathways. And the first time you do something, it's like walking through really, really deep snow. It's really hard. And every foot's a struggle. I don't know if you've been through really, really deep snow. I was up to my neck one time and it was like swimming and it was so hard. But I couldn't believe that even after the first step through it, you kind of stepped in the steps again and it became so much easier. And then if you just keep walking down that pathway, it kind of gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier and a little bit easier until you get to the point where you're like, oh, I know how to do that. Whoosh! And you could just jump to the other side because you've created that pathway. You've developed that neuron system so that it's just fluid. It's moving. And so what this means is that everyone has the capacity to be incredibly creative. Everyone has the capacity to have really good ideas, to problem solve in new ways. Creativity isn't just something that's in the arts. It's, like I was saying, it's problem solving in new ways. It's looking at things from a new perspective. It's thinking outside the box. And that's a huge asset in today's society, because we're constantly bombarded with new things and new problems and new solutions, and things are changing so fast. And when you can have that ability to adapt quickly and to learn and to problem solve, and think in new ways, it opens up so many possibilities. I'm so excited. So with that, let's get started. I've been painting for over 25 years, teaching for 20. I'm a professional artist and art teacher. I teach for the city of Kelowna, watercolor and drawing for kids and adults, and then I sell and market my work the other days. I paint realism landscapes and whimsical, cute children's illustrations. And I'm also working on my first couple books. I also teach art therapy in recovery homes and in the psych wards, and it's beautiful. There's so many different facets of what I do. And something that I've learned over my many, many years of teaching and painting and also experimenting on myself, like what works and what doesn't, and reading books, I've learned that creativity and creating can be magical. It can take you to places where you couldn't even begin to imagine. You're outside of time. It can fill you up like nothing you can experience or nothing you've experienced before. When you can let go and you can embrace the journey and play, it's so beautiful, and it's so life-giving, and it's so healing, and it's so good for your mental health, your physical health, for everything, for you as a person. It's incredibly good for you. It's like gold. Now, there's a couple things that get in the way of that play and that magic. And one of them is fear of failure. We tend to think that if there isn't a good product at the end, the time is wasted. Or if there isn't a product at the end, that I don't have what it takes. Or if there isn't a good product at the end, you know, I failed, you know? And like we were talking about with the pathways in the snow, it isn't something that will come right away. It's something that's learned and developed, and mistakes are part of the process. Another thing, like, the fear of failure is the biggest one. And another one that hold people back is they're afraid that they don't have what it takes. They're afraid that they're not born with the skill to be creative. They're not the creative type. But I'm here to tell you that everybody is the creative type. It doesn't mean that you're creative type for arts, but you all can problem solve in new ways and have like innovation and have new possibilities, and it's glorious. So now I want to talk about the things, how to counteract the things that are difficult or hold us back. One of the biggest things that I found in my studies and my observations and my teaching and myself is the concept of play. Some people use it by different words, flow, or sometimes even innovation can be used in that way. But basically, what play is it's doing something for the pure pleasure of it, not for the outcome. There's an amazing book by Dr. Stuart Brown. He's a senior now, and he studied play in his whole life. He studied it in animals, he studied it in kids, he studied it in like mental health, he studied it in the most successful people, in the least successful people, in like prisons and with convicts and with, you know, saints or like Mother Teresa kind of thing. You know, like he studied in all different developments, and he says it's one of the key components to success. Because during this sense and this time of play, your brain and your neuro pathways are strengthened. You're able to problem solve intuitively and learn to problem solve in a fluid, safe environment. You learn how to adapt to new situations way faster. It's so good for your mental health because it teaches you like almost a stability and this place that you can go to in hard times. And it's like this place outside of the realm. It also teaches about you, who you are and your identity. Like, this is what I love, and this is what speaks to me. And this is what I have to bring to the world through this glorious thing called play. Dr. Stuart Brown's definition of play, play is a purposeless, apparently fun, voluntary activity that you are drawn into for its own sake, not for the outcome. It's the experience that matters more than the outcome. It's something you want to do for fun and not something you have to do. And when you do it, you lose track of time. You feel free from stress and enter a sense of curiosity and imagination. Isn't that cool? And so he talks about like, play is important for kids. And it's also very important for adults. Not only to experience play, but to also cultivate it in yourself. There's so much information in the book, like there's different play personalities and there's different things that people like go into that state with. One of them is art, and that's me. I'm someone who plays in that field, and it's huge, you know. He has all these like examples of, in the olden days, he's got these pictures of like a big field of adults and kids playing together, and it was just a normal thing. And I'm like, when did we lose that? When did we think that as we get older we have to be more serious and play is behind us? But play is so good for our brains and so good for who we are. And so that's one of the biggest things, is kind of learning to enter this place of play and curiosity. And again, fear of failure, or fear of looking silly, or fear of making mistakes definitely come into that. And self-compassion is one of the big keys that I found that open up new possibilities. And self-acceptance is this thing of like, we're human. So we're going to make mistakes. That's part of the territory. And we are enough. You know, like we don't have to measure up with this activity. This activity doesn't dictate who we are or what we're capable of. It's just a fun side play thing. Like it's just a fun thing that we do just for fun, you know? And just letting the process be more important than the journey. Also, giving yourself permission to make mistakes. Giving yourself permission to make a sloppy painting. You know, like it's hard. It's hard to sit down and go, okay, this time, you know, is not unto this really important thing. Like it's for the journey. Sometimes I even like think of it like, okay, if I'm going to a movie, I don't expect to get anything out of it. I just do it for the pure pleasure of it. So if I can look at painting like that, like this is just a pure recreational fun activity, it's huge. One of the things is like stop fearing what could go wrong and start getting excited for what could go right. I have a class motto. The class motto is we're here to have fun as we grow, encourage, and create. And it's come with lots of study and lots of like research on this. And basically, when you can have fun as your first priority or play, and like that's the highest priority of this time put aside, whether or not it be art or whatever thing I'm doing, that's the highest priority. And then the second thing, if it can be to grow and to learn, then you're looking at things with curiosity and wonder and almost excitement, and then encourage. So we tend to look for the bad. Yeah, we do. We tend to think that if we're hard on ourselves, we'll get better. And the harder we are on ourselves, the faster we'll get better, but it's actually the opposite. The more self-compassion and the more leeway you can give yourself, the more freedom your ideas have to flow and to soar on eagle's wings, you know? Like, it's beautiful. So what I do, like the best artists are the ones that find the most good in their artwork. And so I set timers sometimes and I stop and I go, what do I like about it? It's also the concept of like when you focus on all the things that you don't like, sometimes I find with my students and myself at times, we're so comfortable finding the bad that we feel more comfortable with focusing on the bad. It's almost like this anchor because we're used to it and we've done it so much. But when we can go, wait, stop. I know there's things that I don't like and there's things I want to grow in, but what do I like? It can be as small as you want, but just the tiniest little thing, it changes everything. Because before you're in a state of like, man, I just did this and this and this and this bad. I'm going to do more things bad. But when you can shift that and go, wait, I just did this good. What else can I do? You know, I can do other good things. I can create and I can do things and I can think in new ways. It's huge. Like it's a game changer. It comes up in so much research and so much, like I've tested it so much over the last 25 years and it really works. But like walking through deep snow at the beginning your brain is like, this is wrong. This is weird. Like it's like, it's arduous because your brain will automatically want to find the bad for most people. But as you start to go down a new pathway, not the old one of finding the bad, but a new pathway of like, hey, wait, I want to look for what's good. If it's the tiniest thing. And basically when you go along a new pathway long enough, it's like it's snowing in your brain. And the old pathways get actually snowed in, and it's actually hard to think about what's bad eventually when you practice enough. And then create. Like whether or not you come up with something that makes your heart thrill or something that you're like, I don't quite know what to do with this, you're still creating and it's still a precious time. Now I think of this motto for life. I think of it as all I need to do is replace the word create with any other word, especially for, I mean, yes, there's exceptions like going through really, really difficult times and hard emotions, you know, like you can't just have fun doing that. But in most other areas of life, there is a way to make it more fun. And there is a way to grow and learn in it. And there is a way to look for the good. There's always so much to be thankful for in every situation. And then do the activity. I explain to my students, it's like a snow blower that you're like, it creates the pathway so much better because it's like, now I'm a professional artist and I paint for a living, and I say this motto before I do a creative session, because like it's like all the clogs come back into place and I come back home to, this is my highest priority, this is what I want to do, and this is why I want to do it. It's huge. It's huge, like bigger than you know. And I want to encourage you, like next time you're doing something, try having fun with it. Try playing. Focus on growth and focus on looking for the good. And it'll change things. I guarantee it. So in conclusion, there's a couple favorite quotes. One's by Anne Frank, and says that everyone has inside them a piece of good news. The good news is you don't know how great you can be, what your possibilities are, or how much you can love, or how much you can accomplish, or what your potential is, by Anne Frank. And it's really beautiful, because it's like, wait, that good news is that there's vast possibilities, more than you know, and it's really exciting. And then remember to play, remember to be curious, remember to look at life with a little bit more wonder, and let go of perfectionism. I know it's not that easy, but like I said with the pathways, if you just start the smallest steps and you keep going, the surest steps is the continual small steps, and the continuous. It's not the big steps that will get you everywhere, but it's the small continuous steps. So keep taking those small steps. The best artists and the best innovators and the best creators and the best inventors are the ones that made the most amount of mistakes. One of my favorite quotes is by Thomas Edison, when he was creating the light bulb and he failed 1,000 times. And his response was, I never failed. I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. And so it's like almost snuggling in and getting used to the fact that there's going to be a lot of times where it's not going to work. There's going to be a lot of times you fail, but that's not a reflection of who you are, and that's not a reflection of what you're capable of. That's just part of the process, And it's so cool. So this week, next time you have a problem or something that is unusual, or, just in learning or in life, try and ask yourself, okay, how can I make this more fun? How can I grow? And how can I look for the good? Or maybe try some art. Try doodling for 30 or 60 seconds. Try humming or singing. Try dancing to your favorite music. Or just try something new, like something that you love. And when you do it, I encourage you to let go of the outcome and just see what happens. Gonna end with a quote. If you feel something calling you to dance or to write or to sing or to paint, please refuse to worry about whether you're good enough. Just do it. Thank you for your time.